Right when you think you have it handled, it happens again. And this is exactly what the stability moment is today. So over the last few weeks, during my 40 days of abundance meditation, I've had a garbage truck and come early that wasn't supposed to and stop in front of the house and compact things, making lots of noise right in front of the house, which it never does. It's usually like down the street when it does that. I'm not sure why. Barking dogs, a participant who forgot to mute, cat being yelled at in a garden, and today a contractor that was specifically asked not to come early because we would be in a meeting, and he came anyway, and the dogs barked. And that's a stability moment. That is today's stability moment. And several years ago, I know that I would have thought, why does this keep happening? And I'd be blaming. I'd be really upset. I'd have my stories that I was telling, kind of like what I was saying yesterday in the video yesterday. Today, I see it differently. Life is not testing me. Life is giving me practice. And the more that I see opportunities to practice with stabilizing myself from within, not from without. Remember, we talked about external stability. So people, places, situations like work, a job, you having your job and you could be fired. These are all external. Steve, my husband, he passed. So for 35 years, I could totally depend on that man to be my stabilizer. All of a sudden, he's gone. No more external outsourcing my stability. It is now time to internally understand how to stabilize and become that internal operator. So these are the opportunities to understand that we create our stability. So stability is not something you achieve once. It's a practice, and this is why I would have looked at it many years ago as an irritation. As actually it was definitely it activated my nervous system because I didn't expect anyone to come in through the back fence, which was right behind me, and the dogs to bark, and so and and it totally activated my nervous system, and with the barking, it was loud, and here I was in this Zen place with my fantabulous group. So anyway, it's something to practice continuously and give yourself that practice. So you're not achieving it once, and when you do achieve it, every time a once and a twice and a thrice, and keep on doing it, the stronger you become. It's a muscle. You're building that muscle, like resilience. You're building stability. You're building that. It's not something you can see, but it is something you can feel, and you know it. And I felt it today because, boy, first my nervous system with the barking, and then the irritation with you were specifically asked not to come early because we were in a meeting, and then going in right through the house, through the back door, not the back door of the house, but the back fence. And the dogs, of course, they're going to bark. And that was the whole point. So micro-stabilities is, notice the activation. That's what I did first. I noticed. I was like, okay, I'm aware. This is that PDF that you download. Like if you're my client, if it were me and I was my own client, I'd say notice the activation. Become aware of that activation. Relax the shoulders, which I did. First of all, I turned off the sound and I turned off the video. And then I took my breath, my vagal breathing, because my nervous system was activated. So it was like, so 4 in and 6 out, and I did that 3 times. And the relaxing the shoulders, like that's so huge. It's if you put them up and then you drop them and then you drop them again, like that's the secret, like to drop them again, and then release release the expectation. This is so funny when I wrote this, because it's like, release the expectation that life is supposed to cooperate perfectly with you. it's not going to cooperate. Life is life, and life presents the opportunities and the moments for you to train your nervous system, to rewire your brain and return to what matters, which is exactly what I did. So here is your self-talk phrase. I remain steady even when life doesn't go according to plan. You know, the best laid plans and all that. I'm sure you've heard that one. I remain steady even when life doesn't go according to plan. And this morning it definitely didn't. And to, you know, it's the goal isn't to create a life without interruptions, because you'd be really bored. You know, it would be a very boring world if everything went exactly according to plan all the time. You might think that it would be, you'd have no room to grow. You'd have a plan, you'd go with the plan, and everything would be perfect. It's fine, you know, for a picnic or for a few days or something, but you just wouldn't grow. The goal is to become someone who can quickly return to a stabilized state, the internal operator, and come back to center. It's really, really important, because capacity, again, we're talking about the PDF that you can download for free. The capacity, when you have that capacity, when you create more room in your cup, you ladle that out so that you have more capacity in that glass, right? You ladle that out until you have more capacity. That brings clarity. It brings the ability to breathe. Like, okay, now I can think about this. Look, my shoulders are already going up just thinking about it. And so it's like, we gotta like ladle that out, create more capacity. And clarity creates choice, and choice strengthens your internal authority. The internal authority, my 6-week course to stability and empowerment, I highly suggest that everyone take that course. And there's a very big reason, because the number one thing, the only thing, not the number one thing, it is a number one thing, but it's the only thing that you can count on planet Earth is change. As we are alive and breathing, the one thing that you can count on is change. And not taxes, not death, because people see death differently. You know, like, okay, you don't really die, you just pass through a veil, or however, right? And taxes, not everyone chooses to pay taxes. So those are like, the only thing you can count on is death and taxes. But that's not true. Change is not, from my viewpoint, not from the people that I know, the things that I've seen and read in my life. So the one thing that, no matter who you are, if you are alive and breathing, you can count on change. That is going to happen. And when we outsource our stability to others, to situations, to like a company, a circumstance, you know, the company has hired us, we can be let go. The company can move away to another place, and you can't work remotely and you're unable to go. So your position goes away, or the company can fail and go out of business. It doesn't matter what it is. It's when we outsource, this is about teaching you. If you outsource your stability, you are definitely going to find out, as I did, when Steve, my husband of 35 years together, when he passed, I did not think he was going to. He did all of the finances. I was waiting for that very loud car to pass. He did all of our finances. He did all of the taxes. He did all the insurance. He did all anything that had to do with finances and our living. I did everything in the home and outside, and the groceries and the dogs and just the living things, cleaning, like all of that. So when it is so noisy, hopefully you can't hear all this. There's a stability moment. Traffic. This backyard used to be literally, it was so quiet, the road behind us. There goes Charlie the cat. It was so quiet. And now it just has become so like a major thoroughfare. And it's, anyway, That for many years was a stability moment for me, having to work with it. But it's such a gorgeous day, and it's so beautiful in here. So what I'm saying is this: when you outsource your stability, and there goes feather, you are definitely going to feel destabilized. Something is going to destabilize you. So to be able to come back to center on your own and remain steady, your self-talk phrase for today, I remain steady even when life doesn't go according to plan. I planned for Steve and I to be together for at least, I always told him, you're at least going to live until you're as long as your dad lived, and maybe your mom. So his dad 81 and his mom was 96, I think. I was like, you're definitely going to live somewhere in between that. So figure at least 85, 86. And that's what I planned. That's literally what was in my head. And he missed the mark substantially. So, or for me, but literally that was my stability. He was my stability. And all of a sudden he wasn't there. And so I'm showing you that the only thing you can definitely count on happening in your world is change. And you can definitely find stability when there's change, and it comes from within. You can excel in times of change. You can absolutely excel and stabilize in times of change and move yourself forward. So that was what is about today, like all these, call them micro instabilities, that just little things that create, that start stacking in a way that is destabilizing. And so when you have these, you stack the micro stabilities, the breathing, the self-talk, the relaxing the shoulders, like even going outside. This was not a place where I could go outside, but go outside in earth. And the one thing, releasing the expectation that everything's supposed to cooperate. Like, just let it happen. It happened. So what are you going to do about it? You can either be upset, you can choose, you get to choose. You want to be upset, or just release that expectation that everything's going to flow perfectly, and say, I remain steady even when life doesn't go according to plan. That's your self-talk. So anyway, again, the goal truly is not to create a life with no interruptions, because there's change, and it's to become someone who can return to center more quickly each time one of those things happens. So I love you so very, very mucho. Today is day 60 of our 365 days, and so this is of stability moments. So we are definitely moving through. Thank you for joining me. I would love if you shared this, if you would like this video, if you would comment. That would bring me immense joy. I'm so grateful when someone comments. I read. Right now it's really easy to read every single one. At some point I hope there are hundreds, and I will always read as much as I can. I will read everyone and comment back, because you're important to me. And your stability, your internal stability is really importante. You're rewiring your brain, very importante to me. So, because the more of us that are stabilized, that we become stabilized, we rewire our brain with the programs that we choose. What an amazing world this would be. What an amazing world. And I see that, I envision that all the time. I see a world where we literally are so excited to take responsibility for ourselves, because when we do, we trust and believe in ourselves, and then we move forward from that place. And if we're stable, if we stabilize ourselves when life happens, because it will, then until it doesn't anymore for us, and then we don't care, because we're in whatever place you say that you're at, whatever your belief is. I think we become consciousness, and it's all one. So, but until that time, like, to rewire our brain and stabilize our nervous system, that is so empowering. And that course that I was talking about, that 6 weeks to stability and empowerment, that is so life-changing. I really don't know anyone or any course that is doing it so the way that I put it together, and it's not just because I'm unique, it's just in that it's what I learned to do. I studied and researched what was stability, why did I feel so destabilized, and I mean, knowing, yes, Steve passed, and that was 16 months ago, and yet it was so destabilizing. I didn't know like how to like even move myself forward sometimes, except just take the next step. But there's more to it, that feeling, that destabilized feeling. So all these moments are opportunities. You know, during this 40 days of abundance meditation, tomorrow's our last day. It'll be 40 days of doing that and literally changing the consciousness. The mission, the entire mission of that is to rewire our brains but to change our consciousness, our relationship with prosperity, and it has been happening and happened. Yet there have been these interruptions. The plan was to have it totally, totally calm. That's not what happened. So, and even today, and I was just shaking my head when the dogs barked. I was like, man, you know, the best I can do is and the other thing that I did, and I'm glad that I continue talking because this is really important, and I said it yesterday. I literally thought of the audience and said, how can I give them the absolute best experience while this is happening? What can I do? And of course it's to mute. That's the first thing. And you know, and quiet the dogs. I have to take up the camera and all that. And the other was just self-talk. Like, I got this. You know, things are going to be okay. And, you know, and this whole, I remain steady even when life doesn't go according to plan. That's not what I said. I worked at this. I looked at, like, what can I do? But what I said was something to the effect that, and I don't remember exactly, but it was like, I got this. And everything will be fine. Everything happens as it's supposed to happen. And my spirituality, like my spiritual nature, is that everything is a message for positive change. And even that. And the positive change for me, I don't always have to define that positive change. It reveals itself as you move forward, no matter what situation it is when you're looking, was that I had another opportunity to practice. And I did tell myself, oh look, another opportunity to practice. To practice a stability moment. So I love you so very, very much. You can do, be, change, have, create, become absolutely anything. I believe in you. You can do this. As always, shining my light to brighten yours. We will see you tomorrow for day 61. Ciao.